What the hell is going on? These servers are not being kind today. Wild Reality invite sent. Let me just tell him in the chat. Next up there's a Mercedes of Crusher Zaki. He's starting his lap. DJ Nads, he is gonna come into the pits. While we go, he's on an out lap. Then there's an Alpine of Wreckage. No, that's INFP, he's invalidated. Davids is on the lap, so Davids will be the next one to cross the line. We'll stay on board with him. See if he can finally set a lap time here. And it is a 16.2, goes P5. Good luck from David. And then there is another Williams of TC Drum, and TC Drum goes to pole by 200 of a second. Wow, this is very close up top. Fantastic lap from TC Drum. Next up we do have a Red Bull, Spinnacle. He's improving by 6/10. So that would put him up to P9. Oh, he goes P7, he improves by 1.1 seconds. What a great lap from Spinnacle. He goes P7. Wild Reality asking for another invite. Let's just send him one. Barbie Girl, he's on an in-lap, or he's probably going to start his next lap now. Yeah, he's going to start his flyer now. This is Mad Dog, who is on a lap. Oh, he runs wide, somehow doesn't invalidate, and is into the gravel. That is going to be Mad Dog done for qualifying. Next up we do have Davids coming across the line.
This includes the likes of Ferrari.
I don't know if he's just starting a lap now, but he doesn't have a lot of battery left. Wild Reality has left the session again. Really not sure what's happening. Siphon, he's starting a lap. Spinnacle is invalidated. Pink, so that's going to be TC Drum. He's going for one more lap. Warrior, he's starting his lap now. Then there's an Alpine of Wreckage. He's invalidated. DJ Nads is invalidated. So Bobby Go will be the next one to set a lap. Comes across the line, goes P4 with a 15.8. Next up is Davids. He goes to P6 with a 16.2. Then there's an Alpine of INP. He's starting a lap. Siphon, I think, is on a lap. Siphon is improving as well. Might go to P4. So he goes to P3 with a 15.5. That's a great lap. Next up is TC Drum. He improves his time even further, 15.2 from TC Drum. That's a great lap. Is there anyone who can beat that? We will have to wait and see. Warrior jumps up to P11 with a 17.3. Wreckage has invalidated. Is he going to start another lap? Yes, he is. DJ Nats. Improved to P7. That's a very good lap from him. I'm assuming Barbie Girl's coming into the pits. Yes. And then Wreckage. Oh no, that's going to be INP. David's retired. He's crashed out. Can he improve? No, he does not. Siphon. He didn't improve. And I think that is qualifying done. TC Drum is not going to improve again. Who's this? Warrior invalidated. And there's a Red Bull of Spinnacle. So he's coming down to the last two corners now. And for some reason my Delta is standing still. But does he improve? Yes, he does. But he stays P8. Not sure what the timing screens are showing, but I think that's qualifying done. Everyone has set the laps. That's the end of qualifying, guys. Right, so there's a 5-minute break before we are going to start the race. Weather looks a bit cloudy. Let's ask the chat if there's any rain forecast. Let's hope for some rain. We'll spice up the race a bit. Chat is saying the race will be clear, so it's gonna stay cloudy or maybe even clear up going to the end of the race. Yeah, and I saw some drivers got a 5-place penalty for a collision in qualifying, but I can't pause the game now, because if I pause then I won't be able to unpause. The lovely nature of EA games is that there's always a bug around the corner, and the latest bug is that if the spectator pauses while it's this screen, then they can't unpause, which means I would have to restart my game, rejoin the lobby, and that is not what we want to be doing. So while we wait, we're rating up in 3 minutes. Let's chat through last week's race. T3 race results, well, the F1 23 race results. TC Drum took a commanding victory. He started P2 on the grid. Takes a win for Williams. The rest of the podium was Wreckage in P2 and Siphon in P3. Mad Dog with a good result coming from P7 and Raki coming from P8 to finish P4 and 5 respectively. Warrior is the second Ferrari, finishes P6. Davids finishes P7. Disguised Bear finishes P8. Spinnakup finishes P9. Barbie Girl P10. Demockles P11. Wild Reality P12. And Stoff in P13. Your non-finishers last week was Ionippy, Josh J-May and Fade Bubbles, as well as Jay Grundling. Those four DNF'd from Australia. Fastest lap went to TC Drum as well, so he got maximum points from the weekend. Quick run through the standings. Basically the driver standings are just as I read them now because it was the first race. Constructor standings, we do have Alpine with 41, Ferrari in P2 with 33, Williams in P3 with 31, McLaren in P4 with 22, Alfa Romeo in P5 with 16, Alpha Tauri in P6 with 15, Red Bull in P7 with 12, Aston Martin in P8 with 5, and then Haas and Mercedes yet to score points. Okay, we've got 1 minute before we read up. TC Drum has left the session. Okay, TC Drum is back in. That's good at least. Right, let's ready up. Right, so we will be going in around 30 seconds. Right, we can hear the countdown, so let's get ready to race. Now TC Drum will be AI controlled for the start. It's lights out and away we go as the two AI cars. I do not know what happened there. Wow. That's strange. Anyway, at the back of the field, does everyone come in? I see some wing flying. Oh, there's a car around. That's Spinnakup. Everyone else seems to be fairly intact. But Spinnakup has gone off. He has rejoined now, so he will catch up to the back of the pack. TC Drum still leads. And let's get the tyres on. And enable our telemetry. There we go. As Stoff has now had a spin, he's at the back. Right, so TC Drum out front by less than a second, followed by Wreckage and Zachary. Then there's a bit of a gap to Davids. As Davids runs wide through the chicane there. Oh, and Ionippy has had a moment. Has he got going again? Yes, it looks like he has. Right, so Spinnakup up to P14. Then Jay Grundling has had a moment somewhere as well. He is down to 15. He still has his wing attack though, so everything looks okay. Stoff at the moment at the back of the field. And we already have a few pitters. Mad Dog changing a wing. DJ Mass coming in for a stop as well. He's as well as drivers changing front wings on lap 1. Wreckage now leads. Oh, what's happened to TC Drum? Is he in the session? This looks very AI controlled. I don't know if it is. I don't know if TC Drum is in the session. Let's just see. Right, sorry about that, but yeah, the servers are giving us a bit of a nightmare tonight. Anyway, Wreckage leads from Zachary, going into the chicane. These top three are very close to one another. Zachary almost pushing Wreckage through the last corners, but now Zachary will have DRS and should take the lead of the race. Wreckage using all of his battery on lap 4. Right, not clever. As he pushes Zachary onto the grass, and Zachary does make the move finally, and TC Drum also gets by Wreckage. Bit of argy-bargy racing there, but everyone seems to have gotten through that as Zachary goes off track while the others left the session and his AI is DNF'ing. That's unfortunate. Really sorry for you, Wild Reality, but your AI has DNF'd the car. That is unfortunate, but it's happened to me as well, to be fair, on F123. I think it was season 4 Canada. Same thing happened to me where I got disconnected and yeah, tried to rejoin, couldn't take control of my car, left the session and the AI retired. So yeah, it's not ideal, but there's not much we can do. But let's get back to the race. Joshua Zachary putting the pressure on TC Drum, but Davids gets past Wreckage, and you can see that is the advantage of having ERS. Wreckage has used all of his battery. You can see he's down to 5%, 4%, and still using the overtake button, but he's just not able to save any battery, which means even behind him, Jay Grundling has retired at the second last corner. Siphon, who's got 79% battery now, Wreckage is going to be a sitting duck on the home straight. Even if both of them have DRS, he's not going to be able to do it. Just replying to right, so this is going to be the move. Oh, and Siphon actually already passes Wreckage even before we get to the final corners. That's an interesting move, because Siphon now won't have DRS, but he should have enough battery to keep Wreckage behind for one more lap.
its previous
Seeing as
incarnations
Wreckage does not
therefore
need that today.
closed as they
Davids gets past Crusher Zachary and is up into P2. Now chasing TC Drum, who has pulled away slightly.
Imola runs in an anti-clockwise direction.
The gap is now 3.2 seconds, so TC Drum really looking on to take the win here. Early on in this race, a lot can still happen, so don't give up just yet. David's trying to close down the gap, closely followed by Crusher Zachary, and then closely followed by Siphon. And I can see Wreckage outside of DRS just because he's used all of his battery. He's got no more power in his car, so throughout the lap he's losing around half a second to a second just because he's under 10%, which means he is not staying in DRS, and now everyone else has DRS, and it's just going to be even more difficult for Wreckage to catch up as Siphon now passes Crusher Zachary. Heading into turn 1, they go side by side. Oh, there's contact. Siphon is round. Yellow flags. Slow down. As Barbie gets past and Siphon rejoins the track. Fade Bubbles passes him. Unfortunate for Siphon. I'm sure we'll have a look at that again after the race. So I'm not going to make any comments on that at the moment. If you see things in real time, it's always difficult to really give an objective view of what happened. Further down, we've got Warrior being chased by Spinnacle. And Siphon is off again. Oh! That was really close. Warrior almost running into the back of Siphon there. And you've got to think his tyres are absolutely cooked at the moment, so he's probably going to head into the pits. Don't see any damage on his car. Oh yeah, it says the voice is still low, so let's see if we do audio settings. Right, so let's try this. Maybe my voice comes through a bit clearer. So let's go up front. TC Drum leading by 5.5 seconds. TC Drum leading by 5.5 seconds from Davids, who has broken away from Crusher Zachary, and Zachary is now being chased by Wreckage, who's managed to catch back up. So Wreckage is now fighting Crusher Zachary for the final podium place. Alpine versus Mercedes. Probably won't see that too much in real life at the moment, as Bobby Girl gets a 3-second penalty for track limits. Track limits extremely strict at this track. The way you use the curbs and the corners means it's very easy to invalidate or get a track limit warning. As Wreckage now passes. Oh, he goes into the gravel. We were on board when that happened. He just touched the grass in the braking zone, and as he braked on the grass, it just sent him wide, as he has to stay off track for the cars coming, and he rejoins safely. Thank you for that safe rejoin, Wreckage. Well done. But very unfortunate that you had a little spin. Luckily no damage in his car, so he's able to continue. Now the field is pretty spread out at the moment, so there's not a lot of battling going on anyway. TC Drums still out front, the gap now 6 seconds as he comes around the last corners for lap 9. We're almost a third into this race. No VSCs, no safety cars as of yet. But the whole grid is pretty much in a Williams sandwich at the moment, with TC Drum in first place and his teammate Pink Pisang in last. Pink Pisang on fresh hards, hunting down Iron Nippy on older mediums. So can Pink Pisang get this move done? We will have to wait and see. Does he send it? No, he doesn't. He stays behind. Doesn't have a lot of battery left, to be honest, and he is using his overtake in strange places. Iron Nippy has got a lot of battery, so he will be able to defend this position if Pink Pisang doesn't stay close enough. But at the moment it looks as though Pink Pisang is pretty close, and with those fresh tires he might be getting a very good run out of the final corner as Iron Nippy goes wide and he's round, he spins. Iron Nippy spins over the curb and DJ Nads gets a 3-second penalty for track limits, and now Iron Nippy is in P14 and not far ahead of TC Drum, who is coming to lap him pretty soon. I guess the gap is around maybe 10 seconds or so, which isn't too much, but it's still big enough, I think. Bit of a fight brewing here. Wreckage has caught up to Fade Bubbles again. He has DRS, but I think he's just a bit too far back to go for the move. Spinnacle on the back of Warrior might be going for the move here. No, he doesn't. He's not using any RS, so he will just be closing up to the back of Warrior, and Siphon missed out on DRS, but he is also on the back of Spinnacle and Warrior. There's a little 3-car train here at the moment. Fade Bubbles not too far behind Barbie Girl. If he can push in this lap, maybe he can get back within the DRS of Barbie Girl. That'll be crucial for his race as he is lagging a bit, which is unfortunate. Oh, as he goes wide. No, he doesn't. It's just a bit of lag. This is pretty scary if the cars are lagging around so much. Yellow flags for who? Virtual safety car as everyone slows down. Maybe a good time to pit. Yes, David into the pit for hards. Crushes Zachary into the pit for hards. And a change of wing as well. Pink Pisang gets a drive-through for speeding under the VSC. You've got to watch your delta, you've got to watch your delta. That will be a costly penalty for Pink Pisang. As TC Drum is now 26 seconds clear, which means he could easily pit and come out ahead pretty easily at the moment. So he will want to extend the stint now until the gap between him and Davids is around 25 seconds or 27 seconds, which means he will be able to pit and still come out ahead but have much fresher tires. So because if he pits now, yes, he'll still come out ahead, but his tires will be a lot older. As Stoff is in the pits. Stoff is now a lap down, unfortunately. TC Drum right on the back of Iron Nippy. So Iron Nippy will be getting blue flag soon. And will be obliged to step out the way, which he does. Almost. Yep. He has pulled to the side, so I think he is letting TC drum through. There he goes. And we have some position changes here. Siphon gets past Warrior into turn 1. We kind of just caught the tail end of that move, but well done to him, as DJ Nads now passes Spinnacle Cruise in the pits, so that's not a very exciting move.
The University of Bologna is nearing 1,000 years.
Brief yellow flags at the chicane for a moment. Iron Nippy having a bit of a tough time.
The tragic events of 1994.
Oh, Siphon is round. He's on the grass. Get back on track, sir. It's a Formula 1 car, not a lawnmower. I'm just kidding. That's happened to all of us at that corner. You haven't driven Imola if you haven't spun at that corner yet, so yeah, all is fair. But Cypher now on 12-lap old mediums, he will probably be needing to pit soon, because those tyres, with a few spins that he's had, will not be in very great condition anymore. As we do have Fade Bubbles and Barbie Girl in the pits. Both look like they changed their front wings. No, I don't think Fade changed the front wing, because he is now ahead of Barbie Girl. But yeah, Siphon has pitted as expected. Luckily no damage to him, so he's able to carry on with this race pretty quickly. Fade Bubbles weaving to get some temperature in those hards. Coming out the pits really cold. As I think Stoff is on the back of Iron Nippy. Will he be making the move? Fight for the wooden spoon here. Oh! They go into Pinky Song. He was coming out of the pits. And there's contact. Iron Nippy off track. Not exactly sure why he went so aggressively off track. Oh, and he's spun round. And got to be careful. David comes around the corner there at a very high speed. And yeah, almost collected Iron Nippy there. Iron Nippy, don't know what's happening. Just struggling to get going again as he waits for Crusher Zachary to pass him. TC Drum has pitted the previous lap, so he's come out around 3 seconds behind David's. So David's with a nice undercut, but 3 laps fresher tyres for TC Drum means he will be catching up to David's fairly quickly, I imagine. Looks like everyone's going for the medium hard strategy today. Pink Pisang on the back of Stoff on fresh softs. Pink Pisang on relatively old hards, not very old, 7 laps. But we do have Wreckage on the back of Warrior. Now Wreckage has much fresher tyres, and we'd assume that Warrior will dive into the pits soon, but not this lap. So Warrior continuing on his 15 lap old mediums. You can take the mediums pretty far in this race if you do want to, but Wreckage moves up into P4. Nice clean move with DRS. Not much Warrior can do at that stage. As there's another change where Barbie Girl has passed Fade Bubbles for P6. Oh, as there is a stationary car in the straight, it's Iron Nippy. take 2 of this battle. Pink Pisang and Stuff. Pink Pisang just too far away to get DRS. He's just outside, well, he was at the detection point, just outside that 1 second window, as TC Drum sets the fastest lap of the race. So that means his tires have warmed up pretty nicely, and he's catching up to David's at a pretty decent rate. Fade Bubble still on the back of Barbie Girl. Barbie Girl hasn't been able to break away, and Fade Bubbles has got DRS. Will he be close enough? I don't think so. I think Barbie Girl has done just enough to keep him behind into turn 1. David's with a 3-second penalty. Stuff still being hunted by Pink Pisang. Oh, as he goes a bit onto the grass. Pink Pisang just outside of DRS from Stuff, as Stuff dives into the pits. Pink Pisang carries on, and now TC Drum very close to the back of David's, and they're both catching up to Pink Pisang. So Pink Pisang will need to get out the way once these guys reach him. So David's coming up to the back of Pink Pisang. Pink Pisang will need to make way, which he does. There is a Red Bull of Spinnacle on the back of Mad Dog, and they go side by side. Oh, there's some contact. Mad Dog makes some contact with Spinnacle, but they get through without any visible damage. Spinnacle makes the move stick. Mad Dog on very old tires compared to Spinnacle, so interesting that he decided to fight that so hard. But again, we do have who is that? TC Drum going for the lead on David's. So David's drops down to P2. TC Drum retakes the lead, and with his fresher tires he's probably going to be able to break DRS fairly quickly. We do have Barbie Girl and Fade Bubbles going side by side through turn 1. Barbie Girl going for the switchback, and he backs out of that just before the corner. Great racing by the two of them. All this fighting is allowing Stoff. Stoff is just behind him, but he has been lapped. So he probably won't be able to, as he picks up a 3-second penalty, probably won't be able to do too much there. As let's stay on board this train. Warrior leading Bobby. Oh, there's big damage for Fade Bubbles. Fade Bubbles has no end plate. Not entirely sure what happened there. Just saw him into the wall all of a sudden. As the Ferrari of Warrior finally picks from his medium, he might go to softs now. Yes, he does. Warrior goes onto softs for the final 13 laps. as we just went on board for that, Fade Bubbles resetting to track on lap 20. That is not allowed, sir. Unfortunately, that means you will be disqualified from the race. Drivers are not allowed to reset the track. The reason being is that ghosting is off. So if you reset the track and another car comes around and they hit you, they will DNF. Right, next up, Mad Dog on the back of Siphon. Mad Dog with fairly old tyres. I think he will need to pit again this race. Maybe waiting for a safety car or something. But he has already been dropped out of the DRS by Siphon. And yeah, Mad Dog does eventually pit. He will probably go into a set of softs, as the grid is fairly spaced out at the moment, so there's not a lot of action. However, Spinnacle has closed right up to the back of Fade Bubbles. Fade Bubbles carrying that wing damage. Spinnacle makes an easy overtake at the beginning of Sector 2. Bobby Girl with another 3-second penalty for track damage. And this is what the penalties look like at the moment. So 3 seconds for Davids, 3 seconds for Wreckage, 9 seconds for Barbie Girl. As Fade Bubbles, Siphon right on the back of Fade Bubbles. Does he go for the move? No, he doesn't. He stays behind. And just gives Fade Bubbles a nudge from behind to say, hey, listen, I am behind you. If you can't see me and if you can't hear me, you better feel me. And now Siphon will be going for the move into turn 1 with DRS. He's got quite a lot of battery as well, so this should be a fairly easy overtake on Fade Bubbles. Fade Bubbles knows this and he doesn't defend the position too hard. Warrior on the back of DJ Nads. Oh, there's yellow flag. Is that INP again? Yes, INP causing another yellow flag. Tough day for Haas. INP obviously actually a Haas driver in P14, and his teammate Jake Grundling has already DNF'd. As now we see Bobby Girl going to the home straight with probably Storff right behind him, but Storff is lapped, so Storff won't try and unlap himself here. I think Storff will just stay behind and have Bobby Girl tow him along. Now there's some other action. Warrior on the back of DJ Nads. He gets the move done into turn 1. Great racing from the pair of them, keeping it clean. Davids with a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits, as there's more yellow flags for INP. He is still racing, still continuing in this race. Barbigirl versus Stoff P2, although they are not racing for position. Stoff is a lap car, but Barbigirl is slowly but surely catching back up to Crusher Zachary. Zachary on fresh mediums though, so you would assume that he is gonna streak away from Barbigirl at the moment, and you can see the gap is increasing pretty quickly. David's on fresh softs. Fade Bubbles with another penalty for track limits. And Stoff runs out wide a bit. Again, part of the race where the field is pretty spread out, so there's not a lot of on-track action. Siphon is catching up to Spinnacle, and he has basically caught up, which means on the home straight on the next lap, Siphon will have DRS and Spinnacle unless he chooses to go for the move now, where they've got fairly similar tyres, so maybe Siphon just feeling like he's getting held up by Spinnacle quite a lot and he wants to get the move done as quickly as possible. But now Spinnacle has DRS, fairly similar DRS levels and fairly similar tyre age, but Spinnacle doesn't seem to be wanting to go for the move yet. Happy to stick behind Siphon for another lap. DJ Nads on the back of Warrior pulls to the inside and beautiful move into turn 1, gets the car stopped and he is up into P8. Warrior down to P9, still the top 10 finish for the Ferrari man. INP gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits. David sets the fastest lap on his softs. Will he be able to catch wreckage and penalties? Oh, David's must catch wreckage and make a 5-second gap for him to stay P2 in this race. That's going to be a tough ask. There's still around 6 laps to go, so it could be done. It's not impossible, but you'll have to pass him fairly quickly and then just absolutely bolt. Looks like Siphon has got past Spinnacle eventually. Siphon now back to the top 6 after having that spin earlier. And I think he is within Barbigirl's penalties. Yes, he is. Barely. Spinnacle still on the back of Siphon here, as DJ Nads gets another penalty for track limits. We've got 3 cars on the home straight, all going at it. Right, so we're on lap 27. Crusher Zachary getting past that is a lapped Alpine of Iron Nippy, and behind him is Pink Pisang. Pinnacle just over a second from Siphon, so he won't be getting any DRS. Right, there's not many fights going on at the moment. Crusher Zachary. The gap to Barbie Girl is pretty huge. The two cars behind him are not on the same lap as him. They are being lapped, those cars. So after this lap, we do have 4 remaining. As TC Drum pulls into the pits, he's surely going to bolt on a set of softs to go to the end and hopefully get in the fastest lap as well, for his sake. Goes into the pits. What is that, a set of softs? Yes, TC Drum puts on a set of softs. This might be pretty close. Will Davids get him? Yes. I think so, yes. Davids does get him into turn 1. But again, TC Drum now with 5 lap fresher tyres than Davids. Davids' tyres will already be going off at this stage. TC Drum making a move on Davids with those fresh softs. And he's got 90% battery, which means at the end of this lap he will probably be giving it the full beans to set the fastest lap of the race so far. As I think Siphon was going a bit slowly there, I'm not sure, just lifting the menu up for a moment as if something had happened. TC Drum still your race leader at the moment. Race winner from last week. Siphon has been slowly catching up to the back of Barbie Girl, and if he can stay close to Barbie Girl, he will have that position, because Barbie Girl has a lot of penalties, 9 seconds of penalties. Stoff and Iron Nippy on 11 seconds, DJ Nads and Barbie Girl on 9, Davids has 8 seconds, Wreckage, Mad Dog and Pink Person has 3 seconds, and Fade Bubbles has 6 seconds of penalties. Right, so will Siphon get past Barbie Girl? Got fairly similar age tyres, but Siphon has DRS and he does amazingly stick into turn 1. Great move. Patience, patience, and finally, boom, he makes it done. But Barbie Girl comes back at him. However, he decides to let Siphon go. Not wanting to go side by side too much. Spinnercop is not too far behind this group. Spinnercop's still within Barbie Girl's penalty, so he would also move up a place. Barbie Girl on the back of Siphon. Siphon doesn't have too much battery left, so Barbie Girl will probably make this move. Don't think it'll be too difficult. Barbie Girl gets ahead of Siphon and he's already fully ahead once they get to turn 1, so Siphon cleverly backs out of that one and lives to fight another day. Right, Fade Bubbles. Oh, got stuff behind you. I think no, it's not. It's David's behind you. TC Drum sets the fastest lap of the race, so 117.2. Donald's, David's, remember, has a 5-second extra penalty than Wreckage, so he needs to finish 5 seconds ahead of Wreckage. At the moment the gap is 6.3, so at the moment Davids will hang on to P2. At the moment Barbigill's penalty will drop him down 3 places. Stoff gets a penalty for track limits, as there is a car in the gravel. That's Iron Nippy again. Where is TC Drum? Let's stay on board with TC Drum. We haven't seen much of him this race, as he's just been out front in a class of his own today. What a fantastic race from TC Drum. Managed it pretty well, made the right decisions strategy wise, and he's just been faultless. He hasn't had any penalties. It's just been a very clean race, and he comes across the finish line to win 2 out of 2. TC Drum on a title charge here in F123. He wins for a second week in a row. Davids crosses the line in P2. Wreckage will cross the line in P3. Crusher Zachary, he jumps Wreckage on penalties by a 10th. Wow, how close is that? Next up is another Williams of Pink Kusang. He is a lap down, but he will come across the line to finish behind Fade Bubbles. And then we do have nope, Iron Nippy crosses the finish line. Next up is Siphon, but he's ahead of Barbigirl. Barbigirl has a lot of penalties though, so he won't get the place back, but Siphon finishes P5. Strong race from him, good recovery. Barbigirl has, I think, run out of fuel as he crosses the line in P7. DJ Nats comes across the finish line in P8. Warrior in P9. And I think Mad Dog will be the last one to cross the line here. Mad Dog and Stoff. Mad Dog gets P10 and Stoff finishes the grid. But guys, that was the F123 here, round 2 around Imola. Once the gaps opened up, the race settled down a bit, but the initial stages were pretty entertaining. A lot of clean racing. A few drivers had an incident in the first lap, but that is sometimes inevitable, especially at a track like Imola. Cheers.